Trump just made catastrophic move against nasty Muslim rapists in America that's going to hurt. Last June, the horrifying story of a 5-year-old little girl from Twin Falls, Idaho being gang raped by Muslim refugees shook the nation. The Muslim pieces of filth not only took turns raping the girl and urinating in her mouth, but then videoed the attack, later taking the footage back to their father, who celebrated the attack and thought it was funny. As Muslim refugees continue to invade the small Idaho town and other places around the nation committing horrifying atrocities, President Trump has finally stepped in to declare that enough is enough. In a breaking report coming from Breitbart, President Trump has just unleashed ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, to begin rounding up these degenerate pieces of filth and deporting them straight back to their third world country crap holes where they belong. An estimated 4,000 Muslims are expected to get the boot, as President Trump fulfills his vow to drain the swamp and make America great again. We learned through immigration sources that the total number of the Somalis that are in the books of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to be removed are close to 4,000, Somalia's ambassador to the U.S. Ahmed Sawad recently stated. Breitbart has more. Over the course of the next few months, Awad said some 300 Somalis would be deported, saying he was waiting for information as to who those deportees would be. The numbers released by the ambassador show a steep departure from the days of lax immigration enforcement under the Bush and Obama administrations. Awad said that during Obama's last 2 years in office, only 170 Somalis were deported for either committing crimes or having their asylum requests rejected. The Trump administration is expected to double that number in a few months. But cleaning up the Muslim filth from our streets is only half of the plan, as ICE has been cracking down on illegal criminals hiding out in America also. In a recent East Coast operation, officials arrested 82 immigrants with criminal records, including several from the infamous MS-13 gang, categorized by the FBI as the most dangerous street gang in existence. Here's a description of the MS-13 gang from the FBI via town hall. MS-13 is known for perpetuating violence, from assaults to homicides, using firearms, machetes, or blunt objects, to intimidate rival gangs, law enforcement, and the general public. They often target middle and high school students for recruitment. And they form tenuous alliances. And sometimes vicious rivalries. With other criminal groups, depending on their needs at the time. Several weeks ago, a Maryland teen was gang raped in the bathroom by illegals in her high school bathroom, where it didn't come out until later that both rapists, 17-year-old Jose Montano and 18-year-old Henry Sanchez, are both gang members of MS-13. What's unfortunate is that both of these child rapes could have been easily prevented, had Border Patrol officials had the authority to do their damn jobs, and had these Muslim refugees been adequately screened before being brought into our country. While justice is being sought in both cases, for these two young victims, their lives will be forever changed. Thank God that we finally have a president who doesn't give a flying crap about political correctness and is doing everything in his power to make our country great again. Breaking, we could wake up to World War III after what North Korea just did. It's happening. North Korea made a big mistake on the dawn of their Day of the Sun celebration that could cost them dearly. Little dictator Kim Jong-un didn't listen and couldn't hide what he was doing. And now he could get the full wrath of an American president who isn't going to give him as many chances as our last. He talked tough to the wrong commander-in-chief, warning of a nuclear attack on our nation, and now it's not going to end well for North Korea. Kim Jong has threatened one too many nuclear tests, the latest of which comes at a time of high tension between them and the US. This isn't something that President Donald Trump takes lightly, and is showing it by what he's sending him in response to North Korea's latest warning. The US is preparing to launch a preemptive missile strike against North Korea, according to intelligence officials, after satellite images purportedly show the regime is gearing up to detonate a nuclear bomb, the Daily Mail just reported. The weapons test is North Korea's way of recognizing the Day of the Sun on Saturday, which commemorates the birth anniversary of its founding president Kim Il-sung, the report added. Regardless of what liberals are sure to scream in the coming hours, should this strike take place, claiming that Trump is abusing his power. An intelligence official who spoke to NBC said, if the U.S. is convinced North Korea will follow through on a test, it can preemptively deploy Tomahawk missiles from 2 warships parked in the region. They're not used to such an assertive response after 8 years of a liberal leader who allowed North Korea to constantly test chemical weapons and terrorists walk all over us. Those days are over and the world is taking note. The threat of the tests appears to be more than just a warning of performing it, as U.S. officials have reason to believe that a nuclear device has been installed in a tunnel ahead of another test, according to Mail Online. Satellite images seem to confirm this. Intel officials believe the testing could take place as soon as this weekend. NBC has more. The intelligence officials told NBC News that the U.S. has positioned 2 destroyers capable of shooting Tomahawk cruise missiles in the region, one just 300 miles from the North Korean nuclear test site. There is concern that the strike could be like poking a hornet's nest, causing already unstable Kim Jong-un to attack South Korea. The danger of such an attack by the U.S. is that it could provoke the volatile and unpredictable North Korean regime to launch its own blistering attack on its southern neighbor, NBC reported. North Korea promised to hit the U.S. with a nuclear weapon first if they suspected we were coming after them. On the following day, Thursday, they added to their warning, a merciless retaliatory strike on America should we make any wrong moves. Trump isn't playing their games anymore and if need be, we'll shut them up with all that he has at the ready, and we've seen that he keeps his promises. 2 Secret Service agents just hauled away from White House for what they helped with to harm Trump. In an unprecedented but excellent move by the United States Secret Service, 2 agents were fired today over that was clearly a huge showing of ineptness on behalf of these 2 officers. All this went down last March 10, when Jonathan Tran, a 26-year-old California native, of course, jumped the White House main fence. He was spotted on surveillance cameras but couldn't be found for another 15 more minutes. In that time he proceeded to jump other perimeters and just hang out at the White House grounds without any Secret Service officer even being aware of where he was or what he was doing. The worst part is Tran was actually stumbled upon by 2 Secret Service officers who were just doing their routine patrols around the White House perimeter. When he was found he had a backpack and actually claimed to be friends with President Trump and had an appointment to meet with him. The scariest part of this whole incident is this obviously mentally disturbed individual actually almost made it to the executive residence where Trump was at. Apparently, he was found with a can of mace and a letter for the president in his backpack which he planned to give to him. It's now being reported the Secret Service is currently taking steps to fortify the perimeter around the White House. These measures will include the addition of small spikes to the top of the current 6-foot fence which surrounds the White House complex along with a plan to raise the height of the actual fence to 11 feet by 2018. All these steps are a great start but there still has been no explanation as to why they spotted him on camera but still couldn't locate him 15 minutes later. He can face up to 10 years in jail for this little stunt. It was later reported that Tran had been living in his car for a while, eating only junk food and was suffering from job stress. So basically he was your typical 26-year-old from Silicon Valley, Californian. War is here. Kim Jong-un just did the unforgivable last night, now Trump is ready for war. Today is a dark day indeed. On the morning of the Day of the Sun, the biggest North Korean holiday, Kim Jong-un threatened the thing America feared most, all out war. The Vice Minister of Pyongyang said, "We will go to war if they choose." That is not even the worst part. Right after they threatened war, the KCNA news agency in North Korea reported they were preparing for a thermonuclear war. The U.S. introduces into the Korean peninsula, the world's biggest hotspot, huge nuclear strategic assets, seriously threatening peace and security of the peninsula and pushing the situation there to the brink of a war. This has created a dangerous situation in which a thermonuclear war may break out any moment on the peninsula and pose a serious threat to the world peace and security, to say nothing of those in Northeast Asia. Luckily we are not gonna be alone in this fight. Almost immediately after North Korea made their threat, China fired back saying anyone who provoked a nuclear conflict would pay the price. It looks like Trump's tough talk and hard work with China has paid off. We are finally gonna be done with the monstrous Kim family of North Korea. Thank God. This is truly a miracle, especially on Passover and Easter weekend. Let's give a special prayer to God, thanking Him for providing us with a leader who actually cares. Amen. Amen. War is here. Kim Jong-un just did the unforgivable last night, now Trump is ready for war. Today is a dark day indeed. On the morning of the Day of the Sun, the biggest North Korean holiday, Kim Jong-un threatened the thing America feared most, all out war. The Vice Minister of Pyongyang said, "We will go to war if they choose." That is not even the worst part. Right after they threatened war, the KCNA news agency in North Korea reported they were preparing for a thermonuclear war. The US introduces into the Korean peninsula, the world's biggest hotspot, huge nuclear strategic assets, seriously threatening peace and security of the peninsula and pushing the situation there to the brink of a war. This has created a dangerous situation in which a thermonuclear war may break out any moment on the peninsula and pose a serious threat to the world peace and security, to say nothing of those in Northeast Asia. Luckily, we are not gonna be alone in this fight. Almost immediately after North Korea made their threat, China fired back saying anyone who provoked a nuclear conflict would pay the price. It looks like Trump's tough talk and hard work with China has paid off. We are finally gonna be done with the monstrous Kim family of North Korea. Thank God. This is truly a miracle, especially on Passover and Easter weekend. Let's give a special prayer to God, thanking Him for providing us with a leader who actually cares. Amen. Amen.